everyone, it's your girl Miss Angie, and we are back with another Let's Talk Tuesday. And as you see by the title, we are doing another mental health check-in. Just to I like to do these on Let's Talk Tuesday or just overall on my channel, because I feel like a mental health check-in is very good to continue to understand where you're at, continue to keep your mental well and good. Last week, I posted a short of me going on a solo day out to breakfast, brunch type thing. And I truly feel like you have to get in that self-time for yourself, because it mentally will help you just process a lot of your thoughts, emotions, and just your everyday. Just to be able to sit down by yourself in thought, eating some good food is very well needed. So anyways, I have voted today, so got my little sticker. And I'm not gonna say much on the topic. Just I feel like, yes, I do feel like it's good to vote. I have my feelings towards the election, and of course many have their feelings towards the election. So get out and vote. Do what you need to do and vote. Okay, so getting into the topic, when we talk about mental health check-in, like I was saying, for me, I had a moment. I've had a few moments this month. Not a lot, but a little. It goes back to the things you can't control. And I'm going to talk about a few topics that be on my mind, because we just gonna talk about it. We're just gonna get into it, because when you talk about it, it's good for communicational purposes and everything. And so it's good to just talk about it, get it off your mind, get it off your chest, and just let it go. It goes back to the things you cannot control. That control piece right there is very, very, very serious. It's like, what do you do when you can't control the situations, right? What do you do when you can't control the kids getting sick? What do you do when you can't control things happening at your job? What do you do when you can't control the things that are thrown to you in life? What do you do? What do you do? And I've got to a place where I have been able to mentally just have a moment, have that day, and then be able to move on from it. Now, I've talked about this before. Has it always been that? Absolutely not. Your girl can sit and hold something against somebody for months, for years, for weeks, for days. And I'm getting better at that. And I'm getting better at still releasing a lot of stuff that I just feel like be like, oh, open moment here. We're being real with each other. There's some things that I just be like, Lord, you have to help me release, let go, because my mental just be like holding on to it. And that's not good. That is not good. But in a lot of areas and spaces, I have been able to understand of, just the mindset of things that I cannot control. And so I feel like I've been doing better. Had a moment, sat in that moment for about a day, go on about your life the next day. That's just really where we at. Next thing that's been on my mind when we talk about your mental health, these food recalls. It's been so many recalls on food, lunch meat, eggs, ice cream. I said there is a recall on ice cream. This was back during the summer. I mean, it's just recall meals, like the chicken salads. Of course, we already know a lot of times lettuce always has a recall, which sucks because lettuce is healthy. But it's like recall after recall after recall. And then I went through a mental moment of like, at this point, I'm gonna just not eat. Like, I felt like I was going through this moment of like, what do you eat? What do you eat? Because mentally it was starting to take over in my mind. Like, watch what you pick up at the grocery store. You know, at this point, I was gonna be on all liquids. Like, what is happening? And then you think about your kids. Like, I want to make sure that my kids are eating well. So that mentally took a toll on me. And it got to a point where it was like, okay, I see us drifting from making food at home to like fast food. And fast food don't make it no better, because McDonald's ended up coming out with a recall over their quarter pounder. And I'm like, we were just at McDonald's not too long ago, right? So it was just taking a toll on me. Your girl was on fries and chicken tenders for about at least 2 days. And I was just sitting there like, what am I gonna eat? And I'm sitting there in my mind just constantly. And then once again, one of those things you cannot control. Pray over your food and wish for the best. You know, these are the times that we are going through. These are the times. I don't know. That just really, but that recall and listeria stuff, that junk is crazy. Like, that is just crazy to me. And of course, you know, I think it was a big thing as far as like, I think it was a big thing as far as the quality of things. And when we talk about like everything after COVID has been rushed. Quality things that need to be taken care of is like high demand. So it's like the quality that you would put into your food and products that are supposed to be given to the customer aren't even that anymore. Like, it's not even that. And that sucks because it's going out to the customer. And and going back to even me working in the auto field, and I understand people feel how they feel about auto workers or whatever the case may be, but me being the type of worker that I am, I care about the quality that's going out, which this is a whole nother, you know, going into a whole nother thing. But that bothers me when I feel like I'm trying to figure it out, trying to understand. I just feel like a lot of times it's just more into, well, we got to make sure we have this number. But I'm one of those people that do care about the quality, you know, that we put out to the customer. So when it comes to food and things that people are going to eat, like in a car, you want the person and their family to be safe. And the food that you eat, you want that to be safe. So it's like we can't cut corners on stuff that is important. You know what I'm saying? So that took me back. And I was sitting over there like, your girl don't know what to eat. Okay? Don't know what to eat. I just think that you're always going to have your days. You're always going to have your moments. And I just ask God to help me be strong, because in those moments when you have those mental feelings, it's like, how do you redirect it? How do you deal with it? And I'm just learning that you have to continue just to let go, let God, and be at peace. I want to also bring a point to something that is like mentally draining, and I can go back to when we went out of town to North Carolina for last summer. We had stopped at a gas station, and the customer service, we're gonna try this again. The customer service is like no. It's giving no. It's like, why? Like, we walked in and the girl was on her phone. She didn't care. It wasn't no have a good day. It wasn't any, you need anything else? Were you looking for it? It was nothing. It was like, get your gas and go, because I'm on the phone. Customer service is nerve-wracking, especially when you know you go in with the intent of, hello, how are you? And you are very, it's just the customer service nowadays is crazy. And it's like, whether it's fast food, whether it's in the stores, like I said, the gas station, or just in general, customer service is at its all-time lowest. Okay, we had ended up DoorDashing when we had got sick. We ended up DoorDashing for some food. The guy was supposed to be heading to our house to drop off the, no, I'm sorry, not DoorDash, Instacart. We got some Instacart, some groceries. The guy, it shows the little locator where he's at. And my man's was left the area, drove somewhere, and the guy who was supposed to drop off the groceries was not the person that they show on the little picture. And me and my husband is like, what's going on? What is up? And so it was like the customer service, the promptness is just not it. It's not what it used to be. And that's mentally draining, because at the end of the day, it's like you want to treat people how you want to be treated, but that's not the case. Some people just don't. It's not that type of world that we live in anymore. But I say all that to say, because I'm just thinking about different things that have been mentally taxing. Sometimes I go into these modes of just constantly thinking and trying to understand. And then I'm like, okay, maybe this is not for me to understand. But that bothers me, because I'm looking at it like you're providing a service. You're providing a service. And so therefore, this is how you make money, or this is your job, and people don't care. People do not care. And I'm not saying everybody, because there are people that show up, come to work, and care. I've had some situations where I'd have had good customer service, so I don't want to say that. But it just seems like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? Another thing, real quick before I leave this topic, mentally is good to check in, because this is definitely the holiday season. We are starting to gear up to Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and like I've said before, this is the hardest time for me, because the family vibe is not how it used to be. And when COVID happened, it really changed up a lot of things. And so I feel like if it's led on your heart to, get together with family, because I know family dynamics aren't like they used to be for a lot of people during this time, but just find your comfort space, find your peace, find your, pray, journal, just get through the season. Because of course we know when it gets cold and it's winter, like when they talk about seasonal depression, that's real. And depending on what area you stay in, that's real. And I know I'm not a big winter person. I don't like being cold. Like when I was younger, I used to love doing the different activities where you're like outside and you're in the snow and you make snow angels and all of that good stuff, and you're trying to shovel. And now it's like, I'm over it. I don't want to walk in this. It's pretty for the moment until it starts getting dirty. Like, I be done with the snow. But like in certain areas, people may not really have to deal with snow, and look, more power to you. But that right there is real. Seasonal depression is real. So I just want us to, as a unit, to continue to just check in with ourselves and get through the season. Another thing that I wanted to mention before I close out on this, when you think about mental, I don't want to forget about the people who have dealt with the hurricanes and also the earthquakes, like the hurricanes and stuff in Florida, and all the flooding and everything that's been going on, and also the earthquakes that's been happening in California. Like, natural disasters are real. And depending on where you're staying at, and thank God that my cousin and his family who stay in Florida, that they were safe. And I, sent a message just to check on him to make sure they were good and they weren't hit hard. But it's like, just imagine the mental toll it takes on you if you lose everything you have by water, by fire, by natural disasters that happen, earthquakes. Like, I remember I was watching the Mama's Den I was actually listening to it. I was listening to the Mama's Den podcast, which is another really good podcast. They were talking about, in California, how they have those earthquakes. And the lady, she was talking about, there's 4 of the ladies on there. I can't think of her name right now, but she was talking about the fear of the fact of, like, what if that one earthquake is splitting everything up and damaging everything? And she's like, how do you just not let that fear get a hold of you and what you want to do in that moment to protect your children? And that is a big thing. Like, natural disasters are real and it can take over your mental. These people who are in Florida went back to nothing. They don't have their homes. And I feel like we have to just mentally check in and process and pray and keep strong, because it gets real out here. It gets real out here. One day your life is perfect and the next minute your life can be going down the drain. And we wonder why people mentally are losing it, because there's certain situations and circumstances that people are not prepared for or can handle. So anyways, this is my little rant for Let's Talk Tuesday. Hope this video is not going to be that long, but that was just my feeling on just mentally unloading. Mentally check in is important, because your mental is important just as well as your physical health. I don't know how strong, like, I keep trying to implement that. Like, you have to talk, you have to write, whatever is comfortable for you, but don't ever let those feelings fester inside. Don't hold them in. You have to release them somewhere. So anyways, I just want to say thanks for checking in to this Let's Talk Tuesday. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.